Chosen one, when conversations that once delighted you suddenly begin to feel heavy, it may be a sign that you are growing and no longer wish to nourish what leaves your heart depleted. I have seen you sitting amid familiar laughter while inwardly feeling like a stranger, as though your body remained present while a deeper part of you had already crossed into another place. The stories that once held your attention no longer reach you in the same way. Jokes built upon another person's pain no longer make you laugh naturally. Conversations that produce nothing good begin to make you prefer silence. Do not rush to accuse yourself of becoming cold. Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, stands as a symbol of courage, reminding you that growth sometimes requires leaving what is familiar. Not through pride, but through a peaceful and upright choice. I know this change may confuse you. You once belonged to a certain group, spoke in the same way, laughed at the same things, and invested many hours in those gatherings. When your inner life changes, you may fear that you are losing yourself or betraying those who walked with you through an earlier season. Yet understand that maturity does not mean denying the past. What once fit, you may have already fulfilled its purpose. Some relationships helped you survive one difficult season, but cannot accompany you through every season. Some conversations once helped you forget your weariness, but now you need a deeper kind of connection, where people can speak about hope, responsibility, healing, and what is truly happening within. You are allowed to outgrow former needs without despising those who have not changed in the same way. However, do not use growth as a reason to place yourself above others. When you no longer desire a certain way of living, that does not mean those who remain there possess less value. Every person has their own pace of learning, their own wounds, and their own time of awakening. You can leave an unhealthy conversation without mocking those who stay. You can spend less time in places that exhaust you without speaking badly about anyone. Speak less about what others are doing wrong and devote more energy to building the life you desire. Genuine change does not need a loud announcement. It reveals itself through greater kindness, better listening, deeper reliability, and the refusal to find pleasure in diminishing others. Perhaps you have noticed that you are no longer excited by activities you once used to escape pressure. Long hours before a screen, an overcrowded schedule, constant entertainment, or shopping used to fill an emptiness may no longer bring relief. This may be an invitation to reconsider the way you rest. Not everything that makes you forget your problems truly restores you. Some pleasures only increase the noise so that you do not hear what needs attention. When these things lose their appeal, you may feel an emptiness and assume that life has become dull. Yet that emptiness may also be the place where I help you discover simpler joys, an honest conversation, a peaceful meal, a walk, a good book, or time spent doing something meaningful for another person. Even so, be careful not to interpret every loss of interest as a spiritual transition. If you no longer enjoy almost anything, often feel exhausted, struggle to sleep or concentrate, feel hopeless, or no longer wish to continue your usual daily activities, speak with someone you trust and seek appropriate professional support. There are times when the mind and body need care, not only through prayer, but also through rest, nourishment, companionship, and proper treatment. I do not want you to deny pain by telling yourself it is merely a noble season of growth. Wisdom helps you recognize when you are maturing and when you need help. These two realities do not exclude one another. You may also begin noticing small details that repeat in your life. A number appearing often, a particular time you frequently see, a phrase heard unexpectedly from several places, or a theme that keeps returning in conversations. These things may cause you to pause and reflect. I do not condemn your curiosity, but I do not want you to turn every coincidence into a code that must be solved. Your mind naturally notices what it has already begun paying attention to. Once a number or phrase becomes significant to you, you will more easily recognize it in many places. This does not necessarily make it a prediction or a guarantee that something is about to happen. If a repeated detail reminds you of something good, use it as an invitation to live more consciously. When you see a familiar number, pause and ask yourself, have I lived kindly today? What important thing am I postponing? Is there someone I need to thank or apologize to? When you hear a phrase that touches your heart, ask whether it is helping you become more honest, responsible, and compassionate. A sign is only truly useful when it leads you back to what is good, rather than making you dependent upon searching for hidden messages in every license plate, clock, or coincidence. I have already given you principles clear enough to guide your life. Love, honesty, forgiveness, respect, and doing what is right, even when no one is watching. I do not want you to live in a state of continually waiting for an external signal before you dare to decide. If a relationship is hurting you, examine the person's behavior and speak clearly rather than waiting for a number to confirm that you should leave. If you wish to change jobs, evaluate your abilities, financial circumstances, and realistic opportunities, rather than relying only upon a sentence you happened to hear. If your health shows unusual symptoms, seek necessary care instead of waiting for a spiritual sign. Mature faith does not replace discernment. It helps you reason without allowing fear to control you. I may use many things to remind you, but I do not require you to live as someone decoding every moment. There are also nights when your dreams become more vivid. You awaken feeling as though you have just stepped out of a very real story, with colors, faces, and sounds still lingering. Perhaps you see someone you have not met for a long time, return to a place from childhood, or stand before a vision that stirs your heart. Dreams can reflect memories, desires, anxieties, and matters you have not yet processed while awake. They may also help you recognize an emotion you habitually avoid during the day. Yet do not rush to treat every dream as a certain prophecy. Not every image will appear in waking life, and not every person who enters a dream has a special role in your future. When a dream repeats, you may write down what you remember and the strongest emotion that remains. Do not only ask, "When will this happen?" Ask instead, "What might this reveal about the way I am living today?" If you repeatedly dream that you are lost, perhaps you lack direction or are carrying too many responsibilities. If you cannot speak in the dream, perhaps you have remained silent for too long in a relationship. If you dream of a locked room, there may be a memory or feeling you are not yet ready to face. These interpretations are not fixed laws, but they can help you begin an honest conversation with yourself. If a dream brings peace, receive that peace without turning it into an absolute promise. If a dream frightens you, remember that fear during sleep does not necessarily predict disaster. Stress, sleeplessness, medication, changes in life, and the content you consume before bed can all affect dreams. Care for your evening routine, reduce disturbing images, and create a gentler rhythm before sleep. If nightmares continue, make you afraid to go to bed, or seriously affect your life, seek professional support. I do not want you to awaken in panic and carry that burden alone, my beloved. The common thread running through these changes is not that you are becoming mysterious or being given power to know everything in advance. What may be happening is simply that you are beginning to live more consciously. You no longer feel compelled to fill every silence. You are learning which conversations nourish goodness and which leave you depleted. You can distinguish between rest and escape. You notice patterns in your life and begin reflecting upon what they may teach you. You listen to dreams as a mirror while keeping your feet grounded in reality. This is a sign of maturity. You do not deny emotion, but neither do you allow emotion to become your ruler. In this season, you may need to adjust your circle of relationships. Do not suddenly cut off everyone who does not speak the same language as you. Begin instead by intentionally guiding conversations in a healthier direction. When someone begins gossiping, gently change the subject. When the conversation becomes cruel, choose not to participate. When you feel exhausted, leave early without over-explaining. At the same time, seek people who are willing to speak honestly, listen carefully, and encourage you to live responsibly. A healthy community is not one in which everyone always agrees, but one in which disagreement does not become humiliation and closeness does not require you to betray your values. You also need to learn how to be alone without treating silence as punishment. When former pleasures lose their attraction and old gatherings no longer fit, an empty space may appear. Do not immediately fill it with another distraction. Allow the quiet to reveal what you truly need. Perhaps you need more sleep, creativity, study, prayer, or meaningful work. Perhaps you need to grieve a loss that has never been acknowledged. Perhaps you need to forgive someone whose name still makes your heart heavy. Silence is not always comfortable, but within it you may hear needs that noise once concealed. I want you to pay particular attention to the way you treat people connected to your former season. Do not look back and mock the person you once were. You once enjoyed those things because they met a need at that time. You once participated in those conversations because you did not possess the understanding you have today. Be grateful that you have grown, but remain gentle toward the past. You cannot heal by hating your former self. Forgive yourself for laughing along merely to be accepted, for using busyness to avoid difficult feelings, and for searching for signs because you were too afraid to make a decision. You have learned, and now you can live differently. Michael reminds you to take hold of courage and cut away habits that are no longer good, but that sword is not aimed at people. You are not called to label others as inferior, merely because you are entering another season. What must be cut away is dependence upon approval, participation in what darkens your heart, and the fear that if you leave the crowd, you will no longer belong anywhere. You belong to love, truth, and everything that helps you become kinder. You can move forward without creating conflict. You can change without denying others. You can protect your peace without closing your heart. Courageously choose what nourishes you. Read what expands your understanding. Rest adequately. Care for your health. Work diligently. And spend time with people around whom you can be yourself. Release gossip, habits that numb you, and the need to find a hidden meaning in everything. If you notice that your life is changing, receive the change gratefully, but without pride. You do not need to announce that you have entered a higher frequency. Simply allow the transformation to become visible in your character. Judge less, speak more constructively, apologize more quickly, and maintain clearer boundaries. Then forgive those who do not understand your change. They may say that you have become distant, difficult, or no longer enjoyable. Listen carefully to see whether their words contain any truth. Perhaps you have unintentionally become closed or impatient. Correct what needs correction, but do not return to a way of living that exhausts you merely to make others comfortable. You can gently explain that you are learning to use your time and energy more intentionally. Those who genuinely love you may not understand immediately, but they will respect your honesty and boundaries. Now rise from the patterns that caused you to live without awareness. Do not allow empty laughter to conceal a cry that needs healing. Do not let endless entertainment steal time from what gives life meaning. Do not let vague signs make decisions that you already possess enough truth to make. Do not allow a dream to make you afraid of tomorrow or neglect today's responsibilities. Use your sensitivity to love more deeply, recognize more quickly when someone needs help, and become more honest about what is happening within you. Finally, return to peace. Be grateful that you are learning to listen to yourself, and also grateful for those who continue walking patiently beside you. Be thankful for the pleasures that helped you survive one season, even if you no longer need them in the same way. Be grateful for dreams that prompted reflection, but do not place your future in the hands of images from the night. Be grateful even for repeated details that caused you to pause, but allow truth, responsibility, and love to lead you. I am with you as you leave what no longer fits. Learn how to rest genuinely and open yourself to a more mature community. Forgive others because they do not yet understand you. Forgive yourself for having lived according to old patterns, and then move forward courageously. Each day, choose one more honest conversation, one healthier habit, and one kinder action. You do not need to see the whole road. Simply live rightly in the next step. When you do this, your change will not remain a passing feeling, but will become a deeper, steadier, more grateful, and more hopeful way of life. There are nights when your dreams become so clear that after opening your eyes, you can still feel the peace, emotion, or images as though they were present before you. My beloved, I know there have been times when you awakened, wondering why a place you had never visited felt so familiar, why a stranger caused your heart to tremble, or why sleep gave you a sense of calm that you had struggled to reach during the day. Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, reminds you to remain courageous before what you do not understand, while also guarding you from hastily declaring every image in the night to be a certain prediction. I want you to listen humbly, consider wisely, and receive every experience without allowing curiosity or fear to steal your peace. During the day, you carry many responsibilities. Your mind continually manages work, relationships, financial concerns, unfinished tasks, and the expectations others place upon you. Some emotions never receive an opportunity to be expressed and are pushed into a silent corner. Some sorrows are hidden beneath busyness. Some dreams are denied because you fear being disappointed again. When night comes and the noise grows quiet, these things may appear through images, stories, and emotions in dreams. Therefore, a vivid dream does not necessarily mean that an identical event will occur. Often, it may simply be helping you recognize what you were not quiet enough to see while awake. If you experience deep peace in a dream, Ask what is keeping you from resting during the day. Have you lived too long trying to please everyone? Are you carrying a responsibility that does not truly belong to you? Are you trying to control outcomes beyond your power? The peace within a dream may remind you that you also need to create stillness in waking life. You do not need to wait until sleep before you can breathe deeply, stop proving yourself, or set a burden down. Create moments without screens, arguments, or tasks to complete. Sit quietly, reflect upon the day, and honestly name what is making your heart weary. Some dreams take you to unfamiliar places, a house, a road, a shoreline, or a city you have never visited. You may feel they carry a special meaning, but do not immediately travel, invest money, or change your entire life because of that image. The mind can combine details you have seen in books, films, stories, and moments you no longer consciously remember. An unfamiliar place in a dream may represent a desire to begin again, a longing for freedom, or the need to escape a life that has become too confined. Instead of asking only where the place exists, ask what about it moved you. Was it the openness, the safety, the simplicity, or the freedom to be yourself? The answer may help you understand what you need to build in the present. When someone you have never met appears in a dream, do not assume that they will certainly enter your life or have been destined for you. The face may be a combination of people you have briefly seen or may represent qualities you long for: gentleness, loyalty, courage, or the ability to listen. If the image awakens hope for love, allow that hope to lead you toward becoming someone who knows how to love well, rather than waiting for a dream figure while neglecting real people who are already present. Learn honest communication, heal former wounds, respect boundaries, and remain open to relationships freely chosen by both people. Mature love is recognized through real actions, not only through feelings experienced at night. I know some dreams cause you to awaken with powerful certainty. You feel as though you have received an answer or witnessed something about to happen. Hold that feeling with open hands. You may record it, reflect upon it, and consider how it can help you live more wisely. But do not turn it into a statement that cannot be questioned. If the dream concerns health, seek appropriate evaluation rather than diagnosing yourself. If it concerns money, do not invest or borrow merely because the dream seemed to guarantee success. If it concerns another person, do not use the dream to pressure them or claim they must belong to you. What comes from light does not remove reason, responsibility, or anyone's freedom of choice. Other dreams may frighten you. You may see yourself being pursued, unable to find your way home, losing someone you love, or facing danger. I do not want you to awaken and spend the entire day beneath the shadow of a disaster that has not occurred. Such dreams may reflect stress, painful memories, fear of losing control, or exhaustion. Look at the pressure you have carried recently, whether you have rested adequately, and what kinds of content you consumed before sleep. If nightmares frequently return, make you afraid to sleep, or interfere with work and daily life, seek professional support. I do not want you to suffer alone and assume that panic is a burden you are required to carry without help. You may write down your dreams, but do so calmly. Record the main images, the remaining emotions, and the events currently taking place in your life. Do not force every detail to carry a hidden meaning. Over time, you may recognize repeated themes: a need to be heard, fear of abandonment, a longing for freedom, or the desire to repair a relationship. The dream can then become a mirror that helps you understand yourself. rather than a countdown clock predicting the future. The value of what you saw lies in whether it helps you live more honestly, kindly, and responsibly, not in whether it causes you to feel that you know everything in advance. There are also nights when you awaken at the same time. You look at the clock and see a familiar number, perhaps repeating over several days. This may lead you to imagine that heaven is knocking and that you must immediately rise to search for a message. My beloved, I do not want you to panic or believe that you will miss something if you continue resting. The body has circadian rhythms, sleep cycles, and reactions to light, sound, temperature, stress, and daily habits. If you normally sleep at a similar time, awakening at a similar point may be entirely natural. Interrupted sleep is not automatically a sacred summons. You may wake at 3 in the morning because you drank too much water, consumed a stimulant too late, the room is too warm, or your mind remains tense. You may awaken at 4:17 because that is a transition point between sleep cycles. A small sound, light through the window, or a learned habit may also cause your body to wake. You do not need to assign mystical meaning to every time on the clock. When you awaken, check what you actually need. Are you in pain, thirsty, short of breath, or intensely anxious? Care for what is necessary, and then gently return to sleep rather than reaching for your phone and searching for explanations that make your mind even more alert. If you awaken and feel peaceful and wish to pray for a few minutes, you may do so. Speak to me simply, without trying to decode the time. You can give thanks for the day that passed, mention someone you are concerned about, or surrender what you cannot control. Yet do not believe that I listen only at a particular hour. I do not confine my presence to numbers upon a clock. I hear you while you work, while you travel, while you care for your family, and even when you cannot find words. You do not need to sacrifice your health or remain awake night after night to prove your faith. I want you to honor sleep as part of caring for yourself. You need rest in order to think clearly, regulate emotion, and possess strength for your responsibilities. If awakening at the same time continues, examine your sleep habits. Keep a relatively consistent bedtime. Limit screens and stimulants in the evening, and make your room quiet, cool, and dark enough. Avoid repeatedly checking the time, because doing so can increase tension and make returning to sleep more difficult. If worries are present, write them down before bed, so that your mind does not have to carry everything through the night. If you frequently awaken and cannot return to sleep, feel exhausted during the day, snore loudly, struggle to breathe, experience pain, or notice unusual symptoms, seek an appropriate medical evaluation. I do not want you to call every case of insomnia a sacred sign and neglect your health. Some conditions require the support of a physician or sleep specialist. Seeking help does not weaken faith. I have given you the ability to learn, skilled professionals, and many resources for caring for your life. Wisdom knows how to combine prayer with practical action. If you awaken with intense anxiety, a racing heart, or a sense of danger, remember that your body may be responding to stress. Place your hand upon your chest, breathe slowly, and remind yourself that you are safe in the room where you are. Look around, name the objects you see, and bring your attention back to the present. Do not immediately check messages, monitor someone else, or conclude that an event is occurring merely because you awakened at a particular time. When the mind is tired, fearful thoughts often appear more convincing. Wait until daylight and until you are fully awake before making any important decision. Michael, as a protector under my authority, does not stand beside your bed forcing you to awaken. His image simply reminds you to cut away the beliefs that steal your peace, that you must understand every dream, that a repeated time certainly predicts something, or that sleeping again will cause you to miss guidance. I do not hide my will behind riddles that leave you exhausted. What I ask you to do has already been revealed through what is good. Live honestly, love others, forgive, care for the vulnerable, keep your word, and make amends when you have done wrong. You do not need to be awake at 3 in the morning to know that these things remain true. Your maturity is not measured by the number of vivid dreams you remember, or by how often you awaken at a special time. It is seen in the way you treat others after you rise. A dream that brings peace becomes more meaningful when you carry that peace into your family. A reminder in the night becomes good when it leads you to apologize, give thanks, or change an unhealthy habit. If you experience remarkable things at night, but remain cruel, dishonest, and unwilling to accept responsibility during the day, then those experiences have not produced good fruit. I care more about the person you are becoming than about the sensations that make you feel different. Do not compare your experiences with those of others. Some people remember their dreams clearly. Others remember almost nothing. Some sleep through the night. Others awaken easily. None of this proves that one person is closer to me. Do not believe you are less loved because you do not have vivid dreams, and do not place yourself above others because you do. I meet every person according to their circumstances, personality, and needs. Your relationship with me is nourished through sincerity, not through unusual experiences you can describe. Forgive yourself if you once became frightened by a dream, or placed too much expectation upon a particular hour. Perhaps you searched for certainty in signs because life felt deeply uncertain. Perhaps you needed reassurance that the future would be safe, and therefore tried to find answers in every image. I do not condemn you. Yet today you can enter a new maturity. Keep what is good without making it absolute. Listen to emotion without letting it command you, and care for your health without considering such care less spiritual. You do not need to know tomorrow in advance in order to possess peace today. Forgive those who mocked your experiences, but do not reject every word of advice merely because someone does not understand. Another person may help you recognize a practical cause you overlooked. Listen humbly, retain what is useful, and release disrespectful language. You do not need to argue in order to prove what a dream means. If it helps you live more wisely, your life will reveal that. Now courageously release the need to decode every night. Let sleep become a place of rest again. If a dream seems worth remembering, write it down and continue with your day. If an emotion needs healing, speak with someone trustworthy. If a habit is disturbing your sleep, change it. If a health concern needs evaluation, seek care. You do not need to choose between faith and practical understanding. Both can guide you toward a more balanced life. Finally, allow your heart to become still. Be grateful that dreams sometimes help you understand yourself, but also grateful for mornings that return you to reality. Be grateful that moments of wakefulness can become quiet times of prayer, but also grateful for deep sleep that restores you. Stop fearing that you will miss me if you do not awaken at a certain hour. I do not leave you while you sleep. I do not evaluate you according to how many times you awaken during the night. I want you to rest, heal, and possess enough strength to live kindly when the new day begins. I am with you in vivid dreams, and during nights you remember nothing. I am with you when you awaken in darkness, and when the first light of morning touches the window. Entrust to me what you do not understand, and then return to peace. Forgive the person who caused you to lose sleep. Forgive yourself for the times you worried too much. Release thoughts that no longer help you live well. When you awaken, choose a gentle word, an upright action, and a responsible decision. This is how you transform the hidden experiences of night into light within your life. Not through superstition or fear, but through gratitude, discernment, hope, and the determination to become better each day.